For many people, moving to Moreno Valley might seem like a smart idea. I mean, it's a lot more affordable than a lot of cities here in Southern California. It's a lot more affordable than quite a few cities here in the Inland Empire. Not to mention the location of Moreno Valley, it's pretty ideal. I mean, you're sitting right next door to Riverside, where there is a ton of amenities waiting for you. But here's the thing, if you don't understand what living in Moreno Valley in 2025 is really like, you could end up regretting that move. So definitely stick around. We're going to break down a few of the key things that can catch quite a few people off guard. Let's start with the obvious. Why do a lot of people consider moving to Moreno Valley? We actually already mentioned this one, home prices. Like I said at the very beginning of the video, the home prices here in Moreno Valley, and I should put it this way, but the home prices in Moreno Valley are in most cases going to be lower than many of the neighboring cities such as Riverside, Eastvale, Corona, Redlands, or Rancho Cucamonga. Here's something to consider though. Some of those home prices though, the lower home prices, they might be lower for a reason. I mean, they might be just in an older neighborhood, or maybe they might be in a neighborhood that doesn't have the same curb appeal as other neighborhoods. So there could be reasons. However, I will say this though, if we look at the city as a whole, and if we look at neighborhoods that are like in some of the HOAs here, there's a handful of them, but in some of the HOAs that are here in Moreno Valley, or if we look at some of the neighborhoods that are north, just above the 60 freeway, we have been, as of late anyway, but we have been seeing in those neighborhoods pretty nice home appreciation. Hey, real quick, if this is your first time here, my name's Jose and I am your SoCal Realtor. We help Inland Empire homeowners sell smart, buy better, and move with confidence. So if you are thinking about making a move, don't hesitate to reach out. My team and I, we're here and ready to help you with that next move. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get back to the rest of the video. Here's something I do find many people that underestimate about moving here, and that is the commute. Yeah, that commute into LA or even the OC, but that commute along the 60 freeway, leaving Moreno Valley, it can get a little rough, especially during rush hour. Of course, if you work here locally, meaning here in the Inland Empire, and you don't have to drive on the freeway, or maybe you just don't have to drive very far on the freeway, then no, in that case, I mean, commute's probably not going to be that bad. But if you do have to commute into LA for work, or you do have to commute into the OC for work, then yeah, in that case, I mean, it can get a little rough. I will just say this, just be prepared that commute's probably going to take a little bit.
Are we there yet?
One thing we have been seeing a lot in Moreno Valley since the turn of the century, since the year 2000, but one thing we have been seeing a lot here in Moreno Valley is the growth. Back in 2000, the population in Moreno Valley, it was only about 142,000 people, but today, in 2025, it's about 217,000 people. That comes out to an average of about 3,000 new Moreno Valley residents every year over the last 25 years. With all that growth, all those people that have moved into the city, that's also brought in new businesses. It's also brought in new shopping, new restaurants. I mean, the Moreno Valley Mall, it does offer, or at least even all around the mall, I should say, but it does offer probably most of the shopping options here. But there's also the Town Gate Center with shopping and restaurants. There's also a movie theater here. There's also Target and Walmart over on the other side of the city. There's a few other spots in the city with different eating locations or shopping, but for the most part, I will say that you're probably going to find a large majority of those options along Sunnymead Boulevard. Now, if you're the outdoors type, you enjoy the outdoors, here in Moreno Valley, you have quite a few really nice parks throughout the city. There's also Box Springs Mountain with great hiking and views of the city. Definitely a favorite for quite a few people. But if you're looking for a busy and active nightlife, not gonna say that it's a great big library full of shh here in Moreno Valley, but you're not gonna find the same active nightlife that you would, say for instance in LA or actually that you would find even just right next door in Riverside. But here's the good news to that though. If that is what you're looking for, it's right next door in Riverside.
Let's boogie!
I know for many families, at least the families that I've worked with when they are looking to buy a home, that wherever they're deciding to move, Moreno Valley included, but wherever they're deciding to move, schools can certainly play a part in that decision making. Here's how I'll address that, because I would not sit back and take anyone's word. I wouldn't take my word for it, unless of course I guess they live right there and they're giving you their feedback, then maybe. But I wouldn't take anyone's word for it. I would do my own research. A couple of great places you can go for that is greatschools.org and niche.com. And don't worry, you don't have to try to write that down or look it up. I have a link for both down below for you. Both I have found do a really good job of really digging in, doing a deep dive analysis, breakdown, giving you reviews, giving you scores on school districts, on individual schools. So again, if you're looking at Moreno Valley, or any city, I guess for that matter, but if you're looking at individual areas, neighborhoods, and you're wondering, what is that school like? They do a great job of giving you some feedback on that. Now, when it comes to jobs though, or employment opportunities, I'm not going to say that Moreno Valley compares to LA or even to some of the larger cities here in the Inland Empire. But there are employment opportunities here.
Good, you had me worried there.
One industry that has absolutely boomed here throughout the Inland Empire as a whole, but that is the logistics and distribution industry, which is, outside of service or hospitality here in Moreno Valley, it is definitely one of the larger employment opportunities here. But if you're looking at me and you're saying, yeah, that's great, Jose, that's not my thing. I don't do that. I'm in the, whatever it is, fill in the blank, whatever that is for you. I will just say this. Yes, even if it's not right here in Moreno Valley, with other cities nearby, you have Riverside, literally right next door, number of employment opportunities. With Ontario, very, very close, another city with quite a few business or employment opportunities. The point is though, is even if it's not right here in the city of Moreno Valley, there are other employment opportunities very nearby. We talked about the longer commute here in Moreno Valley, and I got a quick question for you. Would you trade a longer commute for a bigger house? Or actually, let me rephrase that. Would you trade a longer commute for a bigger house at an affordable price? I am kind of curious. Do me a favor, drop that in the comments below. I'm kind of curious where you stand on that. What would I consider a quick, let's call it a quick cheat sheet version or list of both the pros and the cons for Moreno Valley? Well, when it comes to the pros, I would say, number one, the affordability. You are definitely going to find, and again, we talked about earlier, it's on average, an overall average basis, but you are going to find that Moreno Valley does tend to be a little more affordable than a pretty good number of the surrounding cities. Number two, the growing number of amenities here. Like we also talked about, all the new homes that have been built over the past 20, 25 years has brought in quite a few residents to Moreno Valley. And when you have more people, you do tend to see businesses also follow that. Number three, I would have to say the location. Moreno Valley, you're really pretty centrally located. You have the 215 freeway, the 60 freeway, both right here. You have the mountains or Big Bear, only about an hour and a half drive to the north, about a half-hour drive west. You're at the airport, the Ontario airport. You're right next door to Lake Paris. You also have Riverside, also right next door. We talked about so much there, downtown Riverside, the Mission Inn Hotel. I really could go on and on with this list, but as I said, you really are pretty well centrally located in Moreno Valley. Of course, on the flip side, some of the cons are, number one, we talked about it. If you're commuting for work, those freeways can get a little rough, especially where the 60 and the 215 freeways both intersect. Yeah, the traffic, especially in rush hour traffic, but the traffic can get a little rough there. Number two, the schools here, from what I've seen anyway, they can be a little hit and miss when looking at their scores. As I said earlier, if this is a major point for you, be sure to use those two sites that I provided you. Again, you'll find the links down below, but definitely be sure to use them. Get their feedback, take their input, their research on the schools that are here. Number three, of course, with all that growth comes traffic here in town, which for some people moving here from bigger cities like LA or the Orange County, the OC, or even right next door, Riverside, Rancho Cucamonga, some of the bigger cities here. The traffic here in Moreno Valley may not seem like much to people like that, but I have found that other residents that have been living here in Moreno Valley for like the last 20 years, they'll tell you, oh yeah, the traffic's gotten worse. Of course, if you do have any questions at all, or if you are thinking about buying or selling a home, my contact information is below. Feel free to reach out. Otherwise, until then, we'll catch you on the next one.